Hey everybody, this is Stephanie Janicek. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going to take a departure from bashing The Last Jedi and critiquing other things, talking about my favorite movie stars. I grew up in a family where my mom went to movies as a kid in the 30s and 40s, so I grew up with the golden age of Hollywood. So I'm pretty much grounded in film history. I even have seen a lot of Harold Lloyd movies. But I want to preface this with the difference between a celebrity and a movie star. Here's a celebrity. This is George Clooney. He doesn't have any box office. He hasn't made anything that was very successful. He tells people he's cool, so they think he's cool. And that's not a movie star. A movie star is this. They're just cool. They are who they are. Harrison Ford has never said, "I'm cool, therefore you must think I'm cool." He just is. He is the guy. So there's the difference. Now let's talk about my favorite movie stars. John Wayne. I grew up with John Wayne. John Wayne was a household name. He was the quintessential American movie star in the world, a global icon from the Sands of Iwo Jima and his GI roles to the cowboy if you think about everything that he's been in, and including John Ford's The Searchers, which is a great movie. It's probably his best role. That and the Sands of Iwo Jima to The Quiet Man. John Ford again directed that, which is a wonderful movie. John Wayne, one of my favorites. Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood picked up the bat when John Wayne was, kind of doing his thing. Picked up the bat and carried it as the American movie star. He was more of an anti-hero, but as he got older, he took up American roles, such as Gunny Highway, one of my favorite movies of all time, Heartbreak Ridge, which is a great film. I'm married to a Marine, so it's close to my heart, and it's just a great movie. And of course, Kelly's Heroes, which literally has stayed with me my whole life. From this theme song, to the lines in the movie, to every character. But Eastwood's Kelly is what stayed with me the most. William Holden, who would have been my golden age crush, that smile in every movie. The Bridges of Tokyo-ri was my favorite of his. It made me sad. Korean War, and I've lived in Korea, so it's kind of near and dear to my heart. But what a great role, and what a great movie. William Holden, from Sabrina to everything. He's just, that smile, movie star. Steve McQueen. You want the essence of cool? Here is cool. There was no one cooler at the time than Steve McQueen. He just was it. He also proved that a movie star doesn't have to be the best looking guy in the place. He just is the movie star. Steve McQueen, masculine, charming, just the guy. And we have Charlton Heston, who is a very interesting guy. A beautiful human being to look at, literally. Just gorgeous, handsome, tall, amazing, a great actor. You can't find a role he didn't kick ass in. But also a very interesting guy, very intelligent, very, very concerned. He marched with Martin Luther King. At the Lincoln Memorial. Here he is with Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte Jr. at the march for civil rights. The quintessential liberal in what the word liberal meant. And then as the president of the National Rifle Association, protecting humanity's natural right to protect itself. Charlton Heston was a great man and a movie star in every sense of the word. And now we come to a guy who wasn't really a movie star, but I look at him as that because he looked like one. Robert Shaw, a brilliant playwright, a brilliant actor. I've never seen anything that he was in that I didn't like him in, and delivered one of the greatest performances, I think, in film history as Quint in Jaws. The Indianapolis speech in Jaws is literally a tour de force in acting and writing, and the delivery is just impeccable. The story behind it is amazing. Robert Shaw was an inspiration, and of course, Christopher Plummer, who I don't think has ever delivered a bad performance. Gorgeous man, matinee idol good looks, but an actor through and through and through. And I can't think of anything he wasn't bad at. He's going to be in All the Money in the World as J. Paul Getty, so see him in that. Michael Caine. Is there anybody better than Michael Caine as an actor? No. Is there anybody more of a movie star than Michael Caine? Well, maybe there are some, but the thing about it is Michael Caine is both an actor and a movie star, and he owns it. He's a great man, just a great presence in a movie. Michael Caine is one of my favorite movie stars, of course. Now we have Sir Sean Connery. Can you say anything else? The first James Bond, the real James Bond as far as I'm concerned. Gorgeous man. And the Razuli, the Magnificent, and the Lion, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite roles he's played. Ramius and The Hunt for Red October. And, he makes you forget he's not changing his accent. And, of course, Henry Jones and Indiana Jones' The Last Crusade. Sean Connery has been a mainstay in our culture and our lives for decades. And he's one of the greatest ever. And then we have Gary Cooper, who was basically a Hollywood mainstay from the early 30s to the 50s when he died. His movies you need to check out. He's an amazing actor. Then we have Mr. Cool from the Golden Age, Humphrey Bogart. I don't think he ever delivered a bad performance. And Bogey was a sexy man, but he didn't look like that. But he just was. His greatest performance, I think, was Rick Blaine in Casablanca, which is literally one of the greatest movies ever made. I mean, what a simple script. The story behind how they wrote it is fascinating. So Humphrey Bogart, yeah. Now let's talk about my favorite movie star, Harrison Ford. I don't even really know where to begin. I mean, he has been my favorite actor since I was 9 years old. He is still the man even now. He comes onto the screen, people can't keep their eyes off of him. So, this role, Han Solo, I remember seeing him in Star Wars. And, Star Wars, I was 9, I was like, whatever. And then he showed up and I was like, okay. And he inspired me to want to be an actress. And, life got in the way, but he was the inspiration for that. I mean, he is, he's one of those guys that he's just is who he is. The camera's drawn to him, and that is that. And he doesn't get enough credit for how good of an actor he really, really is. It's really, where in Star Wars, it ended up being that his character Han Solo wins the princess. And it was the first romantic relationship in movies adult relationship that I'd ever been aware of. Then, of course, we get to Blade Runner, where he plays Rick Deckard. Is Deckard a replicant? Is he not? Ridley Scott says yes. Harry says no. I agree with the actor. And he reprised the Rick Deckard role in Blade Runner 2049 in a brilliant performance. And, of course, I can't forget David Halloran in Hanover Street. Yes, it's a good movie. And yes, I liked it. So people who don't, be quiet. Then, of course, Indiana Jones. His other signature role. He might be known mostly for Han Solo, but Indy is up there too. Indy was his movie. It wasn't an ensemble cast. It was his Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, Crystal Skull were his movies, and Indiana Jones. That's it. That's all you need to know. Amazing. And of course, probably his greatest performance, I think, in Mosquito Coast. Literally, you walk away going, where's Harrison Ford and what have you done with him? That is how good he was. He didn't get any credit for it. I think because you walk away going, where's Harrison Ford? What have you done with him? Because his character literally is batshit crazy and is such a wonderfully played role. And it really is a good movie. I mean, you have to see this movie. And then, of course, we have Jack Ryan and Patriot Games, chasing down terrorists, being the hero, the role that we expect him to play, which is a role that American movie stars do play. And as usual, he was fantastic in Patriot Games and in A Clear and Present Danger. Jack Ryan, he should have always played Jack Ryan. In fact, I would like to have seen him in that role in The Hunt for Red October. And then, of course, the movie that he got nominated for an Academy Award, Witness. If you haven't seen Witness, you need to see Witness. He was amazing. He is beautiful. Magnificent performance, magnificent movie. And, of course, another one of my favorites, The Devil's Own. Yes, controversy surrounding it. Yes, but it was good, and he was brilliant. And I mean, just absolutely loved it. You can't take your eyes off of him. And of course, here's The Fugitive. A great movie again. And again, not given the credit he deserved. Yes, people went to see it because he was in it. Where's the Academy? I mean, he was brilliant in this movie. He was magnificent in this movie. I mean, he was amazing. I mean, what a great role for him to play. Just the movie star. I mean, he is the last great American movie star, and everything he does, I mean, he's still with us, and he is my favorite, and gave me the acting bug, and while I can't do it now, it just still, like, gives me shivers to think of these men who inspired me, and especially Harrison, who were there giving me an idea that I could do this too. And they're my favorites. And if you want to discuss more of their movies, please feel free to leave a comment. There's so many movies that Harrison Ford was in that I didn't mention, and so many movies that Bogart and John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, Michael Caine, and there are other actors I didn't mention, other movie stars that I didn't mention, just because there's just not enough time here. So this stuff, with the departure from the normal banter of Killing the Last Jedi and Disney's Star Wars, signing off. See you around the galaxy, and talk to y'all later.